Happy greetings, everyone. I'm Crystal Forman, the owner and educator of Holistic Wellness and Health, where we make healthy living easy, nutritious, delicious, and fun. Today, we are making stir-fried sweet potato leaves and fried oyster mushrooms. So we're going to get started. First of all, happy holidays, happy autumn. We're in the beginning of fall. If you're watching live, make sure you say hello. Let me know you're here. If you're watching the replay, put in hashtag replay. Let me know you're watching. If you can see and hear me okay, let me know that as well. So we are broadcasting on the Black Vegetarian Society, Black Veg Society's Facebook page, as well as Holistic Wellness and Health's Facebook and YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do so. So we are going to start with our sweet potato leaves. So sweet potato leaves are just that. It's the leaves that come out of the ground, like the above ground part, and the sweet potatoes are underneath. So a lot of farmers will harvest the sweet potato leaves now, and then in a couple of weeks they'll harvest the actual sweet potatoes. So this is a great way to actually use all of the produce and get all of the nutrients as well. So you can eat this raw. First time I saw someone eating this, we were out in the garden or in the farm doing some work, and I saw him eating. I was like, "What is he eating?" And he was just eating the leaves straight from the ground. It is actually really good if you get them nice and tender. So we're going to get started with heating up our oil, which is already happening. I'm using grapeseed oil today because it heats well on high heat. And to that, I'm going to add in my garlic. So I have 2 sliced garlic, but you can use as many as you want. As your dish, if you like it really garlicky, you can add more. Just adding that right in. And slice it. And I'm going to let that cook. Brown. It won't take long to brown because the oil is already hot. Hi, Ernestine. It's good to hear from you, see you. Watching on YouTube. So we have our garlic and our grapeseed oil now. We're starting with our stir-fried sweet potato leaves, which is just harvested from White Lock Community Farm in West Baltimore. We're also using oyster mushrooms. They're growing oyster mushrooms for the first time. So we'll be using their yellow oyster mushrooms for our fried oysters. So let's see. Happy Friday, Tavon. It's good to see you. Happy fall as well, everyone. So we have our garlic and the oil now. We're going to actually start adding the seasonings directly to our oil. So we have our garlic in here. I'm adding a tablespoon of soy sauce. If you don't want to have this to be a gluten recipe, you can actually use tamari, which is gluten-free. I'm going to add a tablespoon of rice vinegar. I usually get my rice vinegar and soy sauce from the Asian stores. So I actually go to Asian Food, that's the name of the store on York Road, and get a lot of my seasonings. Then I'm going to add in a half teaspoon of sugar, just to add, so it's going to be kind of a sweet and sour dish. And a half teaspoon of my sea salt. But you can skip that if you want to make it low sodium, since we're already adding soy sauce. It's completely up to you. And then a tablespoon of water just to help the grains cook. So I'm going to turn my heat up to high. Okay. Yeah. And if you don't have a wok, we just need a deep frying pan, or you can even use a big saucepan if you know how many leaves you have. So I have about 1 pound of our sweet potato leaves. This is a nice big size. Sometimes you'll see them a little purple in the color here. Totally edible just like this, but we're going to put it in our flavored oil right now. You can find our sweet potato leaves at a lot of the farmers markets, farm stands. White Rock Community Farm will have some available tomorrow. So you can go to the farm stand from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. to get some freshly harvested sweet potato leaves. These will keep well in the refrigerator for, I've kept them over a week before, so as long as you keep them in a good container, they will keep for over a week. They're really great green to have. It's going to cook down, just like any other grain. It's going to cook down some, or a lot, kind of like spinach. Just putting my tongs to help. So I'm going to turn this thing down just a little bit. Everything's starting to sit down. I'm going to add the rest of my grains in here. Does anyone have any questions about sweet potatoes, sweet potato leaves? If you need to add more water, you can. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. So I say, where do you get the sweet potato greens? Yes, so right now we're in fall. So a lot of farmers are looking to start harvesting their sweet potatoes because they usually let the sweet potatoes themselves cure for a few weeks before they sell them for Thanksgiving and all of the holidays. So they get sweeter the longer you store them. So I get the sweet potato leaves from White Rock Community Farm. Let's see, Plantation Park Heights will have them as well. So anyone who's growing sweet potatoes will have sweet potato greens. The farmers who are, very sustainable, they know to sell these greens because they're delicious, and they have people like me come in to show people how to use them. It's not complicated. It's fun to eat raw, and it's fun to just cook up real quick as a stir fry. So you can go to a lot of your farmers markets, farm stands. Some CSA shares will have them as well. Hi, Adrian. Happy Friday. I would like to try sweet potato greens. Yes. I think some specialty markets will have them too, like Mom's and like some of the special natural stores. They'll have them a lot of times as well. A lot of times, the places where you can find things like dandelion greens or Jerusalem artichokes, they'll have stuff like this. This is like a specialty item that's only available during certain times of the year, because once they harvest the grains, they pretty much harvest all of them, and that's it. Then they harvest the sweet potatoes, and that's it for the season until next year. All right. Let this cook a little longer, and then we're going to get ready with our oyster mushrooms. I think that I need to add just a little more liquid to our greens, but I'm going to turn it down and let it cook in its own liquid here. So if you are watching this live, say hi, let me know you're here, and also make sure you put a thumbs up or hearts. The more you all like and comment, the more Facebook puts this out for others to see as well, without having to give them money in ads. So just go in and like it, share it, and commenting helps a lot as well. So this pot is completely full. Look at it now. It has cooked down quite a bit. And that's it. So I'm going to just turn this off. Turn it down, actually. And switch our pans. So this is for my oil. I have about a ½ inch of grapeseed oil in here already getting heated up, and we're going to make our oyster mushrooms, fried oyster mushrooms. So these are yellow oyster mushrooms. They're beautiful, and these were grown with Farmer Kim at White Rock Community Farm. So this is the first time actually having the oyster mushrooms growing. They're nice. There are all types of oyster mushrooms out there. I've already done a video and have recipes up using king trumpet mushrooms. This is a little more of a delicate mushroom, so we're just going to break them up into pieces like this and batter them up. So the recipe is on the website, and I put the link in the description. So we have a dry batter, and we're going to have a wet. So actually, let's do the wet first. So to our wet container, we have 2 cups of flour. If you want to make this gluten-free, you can use rice flour mixed with like an oat flour. You can mix up the type of flour you use if you want to have it gluten-free. So to our 2 cups of flour, we have 2 cups of plant-based milk. I'm using unflavored, unsweetened almond milk, but you can use soy milk or any other milk that you want. I'm just going to add that right in here. And I'm going to add in my seasonings. So I have 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning. I'm actually using the Montreal chicken flavor seasoning from, doesn't have any chicken in it. People use it for their chicken, but you can use it for whatever you want to, including your tofu. And I am adding some chili powder. So add all of your seasonings right in. We're going to whisk that together. If you don't have a whisk, just use a fork and get the lumps out as much as possible. And this is going to make a nice amount of batter here. If you don't use it all up for your mushrooms, you can use it to really batter any veggie you have. Eggplant, tomatoes. We did fried green tomatoes a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so the spices that I used, see, so 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and that's it, and 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. So all of the ingredients are on the website at holistic-wellnessandhealth.com. You can look for the recipe, it's right there for you. Go to the blog section. So I'm going to just let this sit. This is our liquid batter. And now let's make our dry. So in our dry bowl, we already have 1 cup of flour. Add 1 cup of panko crumbs. That'll just give a nice flaky outside. If you don't have the panko breadcrumbs, you can really skip that. It just makes a nice crunchy coating. And I used to get that from the Asian store, but I have seen it at the Dollar Tree as well. So you can use just the panko. If you don't have panko, you can also use Ritz crackers or saltine crackers. Just grind it up and use that in place of the panko. And we're going to add our seasonings to this as well. So for this, we have 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and we have some half teaspoon of fresh black pepper. So that's what's all in here. So we're going to put this in with our dry ingredients and just whisk that all together as well. You just want to make sure everything's nice and mixed together so that all the flavors are well blended. And that's it. So we are going to start with our battering process. So it's good if you can to kind of line up everything, so make it a little easier, a little less messy. So we have our liquid batter, our dry batter, and our oyster mushrooms. So some of them are going to be big pieces like this. I'm going to break some of them in half. We're going to go from our wet to our dry to our frying pan. All right, so I'm going to put a few in at a time since I'm getting my hands messy anyway. Yes, these mushrooms smell really like floral. They have a great smell to them. I've cooked with yellow oyster mushrooms. There's blue oyster mushrooms. There's gray as well. A lot of people like to use oyster mushrooms as a meat substitute. It does have protein, but it also has a great texture. So they all have different textures. The oyster mushroom makes great seafood type dishes. So if you wanted to make this have more of a seafood flavor, you could add some kelp to it. You can really add whatever flavors you want. I've added Old Bay seasoning as well. I'm just gonna get this all mixed in here. Put it into the dry and get into our nice hot oil. When you are working with hot oil, it's good to use tongs. Just make sure you're not splattering too much. Protect your skin. I'm just gonna rinse my fingers really quickly and then come right back to frying it up. Right. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Copper saute pan. Oh, yes, that's what That's Copper Chef saute pan. And yes, so I'm going to start frying our mushrooms up. And just make sure just coat it. Just use a spoon. Make sure, and if you want to, you can actually do the bag method or put it in a container and just shake up all the spices on there. I'm just using a bowl today. Mushrooms are really good to eat on a regular basis. There's some research to show that just eating 18 grams of mushrooms every day can help with fighting cancer. It's also got selenium in it, which is great for your skin and hair as well. And our sweet potato greens are high in vitamin C, vitamin K. It has a lot of iron in it, and manganese as well. So it's really great for like bone building. Yeah. Okay, let's get this in there. Depending on the type and size of mushrooms you have, I've done it where I've gone for like more of a chicken style for people because I do cook for omnivores a lot. So for some of them, it's just good for them to have something familiar. For others, they don't care. As long as it tastes good, that's all that really matters. Others prefer not to have their food remind them of anything else. They just want it to be flavorful. So let's get them all in. If you have a deep fryer, you can use that as well. And I don't want them to touch because I want them to brown like on all sides without getting stuck together. You can actually, I will pick some of these up. It's already starting to brown. The oil's nice and hot. This looks beautiful. And I'm going to show you all a close-up in one moment. And just keep on doing this and putting it on paper towels until it's done. So, if you have like a metal rack, you can use that like a cooling rack. You can use that, or you can use paper towels to put it on a cookie sheet. And these are beautiful. I cannot wait to eat these. Let me show you how beautiful and golden these are. They're gonna be nice and crisp because I used the panko. But if you don't have panko, like I said earlier, it will still taste really good without it. I was just going for like a crisp texture here. And that is done. It doesn't take long to cook at all. It's gonna be very flavorful. You also I put a lot of spices in here. So it's gonna be a very flavorful dish. And I'm gonna just keep that going. So if you all don't have any questions, let's see. What's the Pensy spices? I'm not sure what you're asking. The Moyen, I like the copper saute pan. Yeah, I do too. I'm not sure. Pensy spices. I'm using for this the Montreal seasoning. It's from McCormick. But yeah, if you can let me know what you mean by that. Yeah, this is my favorite. Kids love this too. You can treat them like little nuggets here. So I'm just going to continue to do that with the rest of my oyster mushrooms. So for those who tuned in a little late, we are making fried oyster mushrooms using yellow oyster mushrooms grown from White Lock Community Farm in West Baltimore City. And we made our own batter for this. If you like this video, make sure you share it with others and let them know what they can do with sweet potato greens as well as different types of mushrooms as well. And make sure you are giving this video a thumbs up, a heart, and put some hearts in the comments as well. Oh yes, Montreal seasoning, yes. But you can use poultry seasoning as well. I've done that and just switch it up. So it's completely up to you. I was just going for a different flavor, and today I actually have not used the Montreal seasoning for this before. So I'm trying something new, but I know it'll taste good. So if there's any questions, definitely put them in the comments. If you're watching this as a replay, Make sure you, let me know if you have any questions. Just tag me, Crystal Forman, or tag Holistic Wellness and Health as well. So I will see you all definitely next Friday. Tomorrow I will go live on Instagram. I will be at White Lock Community Farm at 12:15 p.m. And then I will be at the Plantation Park Heights, their new location. So they serve the old location at 3811, but they have a new location at 4650 Park Heights Avenue. They're having an appreciation event and just showing people the new space as well. That's from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So I'll be doing cooking demos using farm fresh produce from them and other farms as well. And I'll be using produce from the produce box. So tomorrow's a very full day. You can catch me throughout West Baltimore on one of those two farms, cooking up delicious food for our community to just see how easy it is and to taste as well. So if you have any questions, once again, just let me know. And I am Crystal Forman. I'm the owner of Educator Coach Wellness and Health. I will see you next time. Peace, love, and blessings, everyone. Take care.